On election night, both candidates for mayor had words of praise for Tom Menino. Our guest is with an organization that will honor the mayor at a fundraiser Saturday night with its Youth Champion Award. The group's known as Earthen Vessels. Started in the 1980s, it recruits and trains college and university students to work with younger students in the inner city. We'd like to welcome as our guest from Earthen Vessels, the executive director, Eric Thompson. Thank you very much for being with us, Eric.
Thank you for having me.
You're in the mentoring business, and we hear that colleges and universities ought to be even deeper into this business, but you go back a way, so talk about how this got started.
Well, it started very organically. First, as a summer camp opportunity for inner city kids, and became very clear that many of these kids were struggling during the school year with their schoolwork, with attendance, and they were really at risk of being another dropout statistic. And so in 1985, the program added to its summer camp initiative, it added a school year mentoring program and started with 8 students from Harvard University who would go in weekly into Dorchester to tutor one-on-one after school a youth who was struggling with school. And it's grown organically since then. We've recently added Boston College as another partner university, and we now have 45 pairs who meet weekly after school, one-on-one. So it's a program that's been developed as a response to a very real need that we have here in Boston and in the inner city in particular.
So what do the mentors do exactly?
They're matched one-on-one with a child who can be as young as 4th grade all the way through high school. It is a minimum 1-year commitment, and although it's a multi-year model, so we encourage our volunteers to recommit every year to that same child. And we do try and recruit them when they're freshmen in college, so they'll stay with us for 4 years. And the ideal is that they stay with the same child for 4 years. And many of them do. Our average is 2 years with the program. Our kids benefit immensely from that consistency, if you will. That's one of the things that makes our program unique, is the one-on-one match over a number of years. And we also, and so as part of that tutoring after school time, depending on the age of the child and what the academic and other issues that they're dealing with, it could be anything from helping with an English paper or maybe some introductory math problems that the child is struggling with, or it could be helping research college options.
Well, I know it's easy to assume that kids need more help with their subjects, but I guess the contact that goes on here, time with somebody, attention, that must make a difference.
Absolutely. This is showing the child or the teen that somebody really cares. And that consistent one-on-one attention is just so important. When many times things can be a little chaotic at school, they could be chaotic at home, and that consistent attention is really a valuable addition. It helps them, the research is very clear. I mean, long-term one-on-one attention is what helps a student keep their attendance at school high, boost their motivation, and their success ultimately, academically and otherwise.
And I imagine that sometimes when you're engaged in your schoolwork, it might not always be easy to find someone at home who is engaged the same way. They might care about you, but they might be so overwhelmed by the subject matter or the school atmosphere that it's hard for them to tune in sometimes.
Well, all of us have had that. All of us who are parents have had that experience.
You don't have to be disadvantaged to have that, exactly.
When a child, eventually comes home from school with homework that you're not really capable of helping out with. A lot of these children come from homes where English may not be the first language in the home. The parent may not have even graduated from high school. All of our kids will be first-generation college attendees. In fact, 100% of our EV Kid seniors, high school seniors, go on and graduate and matriculate in college, they are all, 100% of them, first generation college attendees.
And I remember the best way to help somebody learn English is to just sit there and listen. Let them talk.
Absolutely. And again, you know, the personal relationship is so key here. You need to develop some trust and consistency for a child or teen to really feel comfortable enough to open up, not just on academic and sort of life skill issues, but really personal issues, what's going on in their home life, some of the things that may be distracting them from achieving in school, and having their mentor really help them navigate that in a way that a parent may not be able to.
Now, I know your organization has these roots in the Catholic tradition of social justice, but I imagine for college students, mentoring can be very advantageous as well, because they're going to be doing work in the future, and this is going to help them prepare for that, I imagine.
Absolutely. You know, college is a tough time now. Students are scrambling for internships to add to their resumes, and the academics obviously are a challenge. And everybody is trying to position themselves for the job market. It's critical, though, that our universities be forming complete citizens, if you will. And so a service opportunity like this is just so important in, one, having students understand the importance of service and, in fact, how gratifying it is to be able to help. It's also a real introduction to some of the issues that our communities are struggling with. You know, we may speak pejoratively of the ivory tower. Well, you know, this is what it takes to break down the ivory tower. We need to bridge our two communities. They're just a T-ride away, and yet most of our children are not expected to even go to college. So part of our mentoring program is bringing them to campus on a regular basis and having their mentor show them around their dorm room, the cafeteria, the student center, the athletic facilities, and having them realize that this could be a goal for them. This should be a goal for them.
It's not just something that's off limits. We should mention about your event. This is happening on Saturday night?
So we will be honoring Mayor Menino with a Youth Champion Award on Saturday night at the Charles Hotel, November 9th. Reception starts at 6. All the details are online at evkids.org. And we basically have a sold-out event as it is. It's going to be a wonderful time.
So why did you single out the mayor? I mean, I know this is one thing he does care about, but there are other people who do as well. So why the mayor?
Well, I think this year it was appropriate with the mayor retiring. Last year our honoree was the governor, who also has had youth issues as a top agenda item. But you know, I think it's fitting after 20 years as mayor of Boston, putting youth front and center of his administration. I was an early volunteer of his as a newly minted attorney with his Mayor's Youth Council, where he would gather on a monthly basis youth leaders from around the city and have them tell him what needed to get done on behalf of youth in the city. So that experience, which was right at the beginning of his first term in office, really cemented in me an understanding that this was an important issue to him, and I think his administration over the various terms that he served has borne that through. I think it's very fitting after 20 years of public service to honor that commitment on behalf of youth.
Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you so much.
From Earthen Vessels, Eric Thompson. We'll have more news in just a moment.